with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, and D Live is in the house, Twitch, and also Twitter. Welcome to the show. You can live chat with us during the show. Yeah, you can live chat with us if it's something that we're talking about tonight, or if it's something on your mind, you want us to speak on it, you can always chime in and we will discuss it. Man, it's been a crazy day. Another black man was killed last night by the police. Duante Wright out of Minnesota, Brooklyn. What is it? Brooklyn. I forgot the Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Shot and killed by the police last night, and also another school shooting today, along with several stories we're gonna hit on that continue to things just keep coming up as I put up the notification. So we're gonna hit on a lot of stuff tonight, and hopefully y'all in for the ride. You can always chime in. Welcome to the show, Maryland Millions Shefford, listening on Facebook. Maryland, you can also go over to the page Speak on It with who you with, Kurt Dog. We can actually, when you chatting with us live, you can actually put your message up on the stream. So if you would like, you can go over to Speak on It with who you with, Kurt Dog, and live chat with us in the chat room, and we can also uh, display your message. If you don't want to, that's fine. We can read it and keep on rolling. Um, so last night, after we got off there, um, I go online and I start seeing all this news coming up talking about Minnesota police officer shoot an unarmed black man. What is it going to take to stop it? What exactly will it take? Because here it is. People going to have their opinion about everything. It came out, the young man, Dante, had an outstanding warrant. But because he had that outstanding warrant, it shouldn't have been a death sentence. And that's basically what happened. Yeah, he took off running and trying to get away, but he was unarmed. And the cop himself said and he was going for his taser, but he shot him. Now I'm not a police officer. I don't I don't know what was going on. I wasn't there. Welcome to the show. T Cal is in the house. Um, but what I do know, and I know what I'm tired of hearing about, is another unarmed black man being killed, not just by the police, but even in our neighborhoods. Enough is enough. This is happening way too often. It shouldn't happen anymore, but it continued to happen. As these numbers continue to go up, I know we got some trolls and some haters that gonna come on and they're gonna flip the story around. Well, he should have cooperated with the police. Cooperating or not, that officer life was not a threat. He was running away from him. And the officer said he made a mistake. So we need to come up with a way to keep this from happening. Because here it is. Last night we talked about the second lieutenant that was maced by the police department in Virginia. They can flip it around however they want to. It was all because he was black. In the midst of the murder trial that Derek Chavez is in, or whatever his last name is going on in Minnesota. It's only like, I think, less than 10 miles from where the trial is being held at. So right now, there's a protest going on. When it came out last night about what happened, it was a protest last night. And people say, well, why they protesting? Well, why do this continue to happen? Why do it continue to happen to young or to black people? Why? And people think we just supposed to take it. And like we're not supposed to speak out about this modern day lynching, because that's all it is. I say all the time, a lot of Klansmen have put down the sheet. They put on uniforms. They put on robes. They put on a nice suit. Enough is enough. At what point would it stop? When are we going to hold these officers accountable? They need to be held accountable. Need to be held accountable. TCal said, I know there are others who do not care, but my brothers and sisters are dying senseless by cops, blacks and others. Terrible. Yes, it is. It's definitely terrible. It's heartache to continue to see this going on. It breaks my heart when I look at the news and I see these things that is going on. Not just the police killing, but killing in general. After last night's show, regardless of what the racist bastard called and said last night. Sometimes the truth hurt. People don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. They want to believe what they want to believe. But in reality, at some point, these lawmakers have to say enough is enough. Hold these cops accountable. If they don't want to hold them accountable, and that's the reason why they don't hold them accountable, because people don't want to get out and vote for their local elections. If we get some lawmakers in there that's going to hold these cops accountable for their action, all of this will stop. That's why it's so important to get out and vote. It's not going to happen overnight, but we can start making a change. Start off by voting in every election. Every election is good. It's a reason why elections take place. We have to let our voice be heard. Let these lawmakers understand enough is enough. We need some that is doing the right thing and holding the cops accountable. And not only these cops, we need to take back our neighborhoods. Seem like every day we hear, and here in Dallas, we hear about some type of some type of murder that happened in our neighborhood for whatever reason. You're right, Chico. They used to wear hoods. No more. None more. Another hashtag black man dead. It's terrible. Welcome to the show, Marcella Smith. I'm frustrated with this too. I'm frustrated with it. It never should have happened. Never should have happened. And his only excuse was, I grabbed my taser and not my gun. I grabbed my gun and not my taser. Welcome to the show, Robin. Um, welcome to the show. This is too much. It's way too much. Um, I'm saddened too, and I'm angry. I'm angry. This could be one of my family members. It could be one of your family members. Could be your child, your niece, nephew, cousin, godchild. It doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. And this is going on way too long. All these killings that continue to happen never should happen. Yeah, they called it an accident. They called it an accident. It's always an accident when it's dealing with a black person. But the butt of a gun and the butt of a taser do not necessarily feel the same. A taser is rubber. Yeah, the butt of a gun may have rubber on it, but when you grip it, you know the difference. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of time they don't put the taser and the gun next to each other. The taser is normally toward the front of the belt. The gun is on the side. And he couldn't tell what he was reaching for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I know. Some people are gonna say, well, he yelled out taser, but he didn't realize what he was grabbing. Enough is enough. Some police departments they are. Some of them they are. It doesn't make a difference. It's not right. Welcome to the show, though, CMOS. First time seeing your name come up. Please, you on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, click the notification, share it with your friends. Let them know we are live and you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. And you can live chat with us. Know this is your first time here. Only thing we ask, you be respectful. I don't care who you support politically, long as you letting your voice be heard and vote. That's what's important to me. Long as you are voting, let us know where you're located. If you're in the U.S. or in a different country. Robin said it's such uh, bullshit. I don't believe this was an accident. And even if it was, that's neglect, homicide. Yes. Um, yes, it is. They need to be held accountable. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who it was. They need to be held accountable. Yeah, cops need something to lose. And it's Minnesota. Yes, it's a protest going on right now. And in this protest, um, it's so many people out there that is having the protest right now where there's a lot of people out there. And I guess the cops are trying to disperse them. So it's a lot of people out there. Now, this is also in the middle of this, the trial of the cop Derek Chauvin to kill George Floyd. And some people say that's not right. Some people agree that was right. Bottom line is, if you are about the truth, there's no way to deny that was murder. Look at all the evidence, all the things that are coming out in the trial. It was murder. I'm glad you do vote, Siemens. Thank you for voting. I appreciate you for voting. Not just the federal level, but also on your local level. It's very important to vote local. That's where our laws are made. That's why we need to make sure we allow our voice to be heard. If you're tired of what's going on, we need to vote these officials out. They refusing to hold these cops accountable, and they need to vote them out. On to it. Get somebody who's going to enforce the law and not give them a slap on the wrist. Yeah, I'm pissed just like you, Marcellus. But they tell us to trust them, to trust them. You want us to trust you, but you haven't gave us a reason for trusting you. Like I said a couple of nights ago on the show, I remember growing up as a kid, policemen would hand out uh, football cards, baseball cards, just some type of sports cards to little kids, or get them a sticker or something. Now people don't trust the police. Even the ones that's trying to do right, they don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't. Robin said, like, oop, killed your child. Yikes, my bad. That's the way they look at it. Think because it was an accident, justice shouldn't be served. This is not a video game where you can push reset and start it all over again. It's not that type of game. In the game of life, you have one life. Once the game is over, that's it. That is it. Marcella said, oh, but as we say BLM, it's like we're wrong. And we're not wrong. Stop shooting us. You're right. It should be equal justice. I don't care who it is. If you do the crime, you need to do the time. That's the reason why we have laws in place. You're innocent until proven guilty. And unfortunately, when it come down to black folks, um, we don't get that option. These cops become the judge and the jury, and then they give us a life sentence right there on the street, all in a matter of seconds. This is too much. It gone on too long. Shouldn't happen. Um, Robin said my friend lived 5 miles away. She said the city was crazy last night, and it was tonight as well. People are angry as hell and sick and tired of this. I don't blame them. I'm sick and tired too. I'm really sick and tired. It's it's pitiful the way that we have to continue to talk about this. Like last week when I started doing the Sunday. No, last week. I'm sorry. My days are running close together. When I started to list the names of some of the young black men and boys that have been killed by the police in the last year, there was over 100 of them. But people feel like it's nothing wrong. People feel like it's okay. They feel like when they see a black person, it become a hunting season. It's not right. We need to hold them accountable. Um, Marcella said, I'm almost to the point of taking the Malcolm X approach. I tried it the MLK way, Junior way. It ain't working. It ain't working. Now I already know what's gonna happen, and I feel what you're saying, Marcellus. For the simple fact, the color of our skin put a target on our back. We don't have to be doing nothing wrong. Just the fact when we leave out our door, the door of our home, we're already a target just because the color of our skin. Robin said, "That's right, no reset. My heart break for his family and all families who are missing a loved one killed by the very people who swore to serve and protect. But I also pray for those that live with the question, will it be me or my child today? Will it be me or my child today?" That's dope. That's deep because we don't know. We don't know. And a lot of people will come on and they will justify all of this. First thing they'll say, well, they made a mistake. Yeah, we're all not perfect, but they are a professional police officer that had training. And if you don't know where your taser is between your taser and your gun, what were you on? They immediately should have drug tested that officer right there on the scene. As a truck driver, if we get into an accident, they don't wait. They take you to some private area if you're not going to the hospital, and they give you a urine test right then and there on the spot. If you go to the hospital, they're going to take a blood test on the spot. That's why when I drove trucks, I drove from point A to point B. I didn't have time to go out and hang out and um, go drink and all of that. I didn't do that. 80,000 pounds was a lot. And you can't stop on a dime. Marcella said I was told to do everything right and the cop won't bother you. That doesn't mean a thing now. I'm almost 30 and no kids. And one of the reasons is because I don't want to bring a child in this system. That's, you're not the only one to feel that way because of what we've seen over the last 5, 6 years have been terrible. And they say they don't want to talk about the history of America. That's why they don't want to talk about it. Robert said, I think we will be seeing more people rise up against the police. I think if this continued, you're going to see open season on cops. Now, let me be clear. I'm not condoning that in any way. However, the writing is on the wall. I pray and hope it don't come to that because two wrongs does not make a right. But I do pray that when victims go through this, they are held, the cops are held accountable. What if it's going to prison? What if them losing a pension? They need to be held accountable. And see, the reason why this is not happening because we have scary ass elected officials that refuse to put a bill in order to protect the black community. But as soon as another race is attacked, everybody jump behind them. Where's all those folks that was out last month that was protesting about what happened in Atlanta. Why are you not coming out saying no more hate to black people? Where are all of these folks? It was okay then, even after Sandra Ho. I understand that's your heritage. You're gonna protest for them, and that's fine. But black killing's been going on for too damn long. When are you gonna stand up for us? But once again, people don't care because it's black folks. Marcella said a system that victimizes us and kill us all because of what we look like. Worst game in blue isn't the crib. No, it's the cops. And let it be known, they only gonna protect the ones that don't look like me. We seen what they did with the second lieutenant in the video in full uniform, but they bitch and moan about uh, Kaepernick kneeling to protest the same thing that we're still dealing with today. And they try to say it was about the flag. It was disrespecting the flag. It was disrespecting our military. But that brother was in full uniform. But that didn't make a difference. Then you want to tell him, you're a lieutenant, I'm giving you an order. That's why you lost your job. You should lose your pension. That's how we get it to stop. Robin said cops ought to have a 4-year degree and very detailed mental health exam upon applying for a job as well yearly. Yeah, being a cop is stressful. It's stressful. You got to be able to leave your work at the front door before you come into your home. The things that you have to deal with. It should be mandatory that they all take counseling. Shouldn't be a choice. It shouldn't be. And they should get a mental health evaluation every year that is in their files. Um, Marcella said, I'm ready to move to Ghana. Here I come. I counted the, hey, radio, save me a place. Radio, you're right. I told radio after this coronavirus is over, I might be knocking on your door talking about, hey, I'm here. T. Cal said, real talk, Marcellus. Robin said, I don't want it to come to that either. I pray people in power see this and say enough is enough. A lot of them not going to say it. They'll say it behind closed doors. Or if they up for election, they might say something or they will try to run over it because they don't want to piss off their supporters. It just depends on who it is. Enough is enough. At some point, we have to say, we're done with this. How many more have to be killed? That's the question I asked last week. How many more of our young black brothers and little boys would be killed by the police? How many more? How many more? Marcella said, killing people in this country unlawfully disrespect the flag. Yes, yes, it does. It does because we're all in this together. But then when you have a country like the U.S., welcome to the show, Yolanda Bush, who is watching on Facebook. You can live chat with us in the chat room. Um, when it comes to a country like America that was built on racism, on a land that was stolen, yeah, over 400 years. And you mean to tell me in those 400 years, not one decided to make a change? They all went along with it just to keep their position. That's what we're dealing with today. These elected officials, they're going along with this to keep their position. They don't care. They're going with what everybody else wants. That's all they're doing. They don't care at all. Long as they get elected, then as soon as election time come up, what they do, they go to the black community. Or they try to change laws to do modern day voter suppression. That's why it's important for us to vote. It's election starting next week. Early voting starting in a lot of places next week, next Monday. I mentioned last night, it's two brothers running here in Grand Prairie, local election, because the city of Grand Prairie don't have any black leaders as for city council or anything like that. Not even on the school board. But the city of Grand Prairie is a diverse city. Every race should be represented in every city. So the two brothers that is gonna run for city council in Grand Prairie, I'm if I lived there, I would support them. But I'm gonna support them by making people aware of them. They're not running against each other. Junior is one of their names, and Kurt Johnson is the other name. If you're in the city of Grand Prairie, support the brothers. They're trying to make a difference. And Junior is only 21 years old, trying to change his generation. I wish more young people would get into politics to make a difference. Because our young people, I feel that if they get in those positions, they're going to make decisions up on what they're dealing with today. I feel that if they get in these positions, they're going to be up there fighting to prevent another police killing of an unarmed black person. And if they can't physically prevent it, but if one happened, they can hold those officers accountable. So yeah, we need to make sure we get the right people in office to get these laws changed. And on top of that, we also, after you vote, you get the jury duty sermons That's part of it. Yeah, I know it's a pain to go to jury duty, but the thing is, it's our civil duty. You should want to go. If you get picked or not, you should want to go and serve. At least you know exactly what's going on. Because a lot of times, some of these cases, people come in there with prejudged minds without even listening to the evidence. And they automatically have made their decision if they're guilty or innocent, all because of the color of their skin. Welcome to the show, Trixie Gatson, watching on Facebook. You can live chat with us in the chat room. Robin said there are way too many cops who trade their hoods for badge and tradition that continue today. You're right, they have. Um, she also says CNN is reporting Minnesota is a mess right now. Cops are throwing flashbang, pepper spray, rubber bullet, etc. Some protesters are throwing rocks, fireworks, etc. We really need to pray no one else is killed. Yeah, we do. We do. We definitely do. First of all, I do not click on any links that will get you blocked. So, um, so definitely don't put any links on there. I will block you. And no one in the chat, please do not click on that link. I don't know what the link is. So, matter of fact, we'll just remove it and remove him. Um, Robin said if you can't physically prevent it, they must be held accountable. Absolutely. What helps curb crime is to enough enough punishment. Cops should be getting the toughest sentence because they are cops who has sworn to protect and serve. You're absolutely right, Robin. You're right. You're absolutely right. They should. But see, the thing is, though, with their training, Robin, it take a barber or a beautician longer to get certified than it do for a cop to go through training. It's something wrong with that picture altogether. There's something wrong with that. I know plenty of barbers and beauticians, and when they take their exam, it's very intense. Very intense. Now the thing is, when you go to barber or beauty school, you learn how to do all hair, not just your type of hair. You learn how to do all texture of hair. Why is it that the cops are not in doing the same thing to be able to communicate with all race? But once again, when it come down to black folks, that's the way they was raised. That's the way they was raised. They don't want to protect black folks. That's the history of America, of killing black folks. That's the way America was built. Marcella said, then these black people like that fool in Louisville that act like they don't see it happening are the reason why we can't get ahead. Yeah, and that fool, he's married to Mitch McConnelly, niece or somebody, one of his family members. So he thinks just like him. Jonathan Green, welcome to the show. He's on Facebook. Ooh, you wrote a book. Uh, um, okay, it looked pretty interesting. I'm trying to scan through it if I can make sure. I know I've seen you on the show quite a bit. So I'm gonna go through yours in just a minute. Um, Marcella said, "Go listen to Dick Gregory rules to a cop that does anything wrongdoing against other race." Dick Gregory was a strong brother that had a lot of knowledge. Um, Jonathan Green said, "Municipal government using tax dollars to make selected payouts to victims of their police force, accompanied by the occasion criminal trial, even if we were to agree this represents justice, certainly doesn't represent any real challenges to structural racism." Excuse me. Um, Hold on. Excuse me. Um, Equating black people lives to a dollar amount, like a line item in a budget, is a defined aspect of how racist capitalism operates. Enslaved people were insured for dollar amounts like any other property. The abuse of enslaved people was sometimes handled in civil court. The reality is the U.S. legal system served to legitimize the status quo violence of racism by pretending what happened to George Floyd, for instance, is somehow unique and it is horror and unlike all the other race violence that accepted as routine. Um, hold, hold on real quick. Um, I'm live on the show. Do you want to be on the show right now? Okay, all right. All right. That was somebody who I talked about earlier. Wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure if they listening to the show, but we're gonna be talking with them probably later this week. So, um, and so it and so it does. So it goes that on the same day that the state conduct a murder trial against one of its former officer, it also argued against another instant the murder by police is somehow less clear, while also saying the only thing 100% clear is the sanctuary of and Merton. It it all amount to a system that reinforced the ideal of black people being less than human, equated of property, perhaps worth a dollar amount, and a civil suit payout for the sake of maintaining order, but never value at the level of maintaining a white supremacist capitalist system. It's never that difficult to react to reach a mainstream consensus that racism is bad and the most abstract way or in a specific instant, like everyone repeatedly watching the premeditated murder of George Floyd on video. Politician diverse always happen when it when the inevitable riot. Oh, excuse me. Because mainstream thinking is still not at the point of viewing black people in general as fully human or more deserving of breath and existence than inanimate items that were manufactured with cheap labor and then overpriced for sale at a profit. Mr. Green, you said a whole bunch on that one. Um, I appreciate it, and I do agree with you on that. They feel like we should not exist. Now that they cannot get that labor, that free labor from us, how they did for over 400 years, and we made a lot of them rich, and they killed a lot of our ancestors, raped our sisters and mothers and grandmothers just to make a dollar. Mm, That's dope. Um, that is that is the truth. Um, Robin said, "Yep, the whole policing system must be torn down because it has always been a racist organization." Yeah. Um, Let me see something real quick. Okay, this one kind of long, Robin, so I'm gonna have to read it and I'll put what will show up there. Now, that does not mean all cops are racist, but most are turning a blind eye. And when push comes to shove, they will back the brother in blue. I don't think it's a way to fix this, as it's not broken. This is exactly what it was always intended to be. We have to change policing in this country by building new form from the ground up. Build anew from the ground up. You're right. You're right. We have to. I know I'm tired of it. I'm tired. We need some fresh meat across this country. If these politicians are not doing what you elected them to do, we need to vote them out and get them out. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how they try to do voter suppression and keep us from voting, but we need to be able to stand up and get out and vote. I don't care if it's rain, sleet, snow, whatever. We need to make sure we get out and allow our voice to be heard, not just for the federal level, but also our local election. Because the thing is, that's where our laws are made. And the laws are harder on black folks because here it is. You could get a black person go to jail for crack cocaine, but then you turn around and have a white person get a slap on the wrist for having cocaine. Well, you cannot make crack cocaine without cocaine. It's two different justice there because the crack cocaine is for the poor people and the cocaine is for the rich folks. And we need to stop that. That's what we need to stop. It need to be equal all over. When you look at these different stories that is happening all across this world, look at the fact when it's dealing with a black person and when it's dealing with a white person. Like for instance, last week down in uh, down near College Station, when the guy went into that plant and shot up that plant, I knew right away it was a white person. I didn't even have to look at his picture. I didn't even have to look at the news. I knew right away it was a white person just for the simple fact that they turned around and said he shot at the police, shot a officer, injured an officer after killing folks at this plant, and he was taken into custody with no injuries. But here it is. We can't even get stopped by the police without being shot at or shot or killed. And people say it's no difference between black and white laws. That's a lie. That's a bald face ass lie. It's definitely a difference between black laws and white laws. And if you can't see it, you part of the problem. This is something that have gone on for many years. This is the reason why we need to get out and vote. This is the reason why we need to let our voice be heard. I don't care how long it takes to vote. I don't care what the weather is like. If I have to stand out there to vote, well, guess what? I'm going to let my voice be heard. I don't just talk about it, I'm about it. I'm going to vote. I don't care. In a lot of cities next week on the 19th, there's going to be elections going on for commissioners. Um, get out and vote. Early voting start on the 19th. The election is May 1st. Take time out. If you're serious about it, take time out and make a difference. Do your research on each one of those candidates for you can vote smart. Allow your voice to be heard. Allow it to be heard. Robin said, my heart hurt because I can hear the pain in your voice. I'm so saddened by this. I have so many friends who are tired, hurting, angry, and scared. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like I mentioned last night, and I mentioned many times before, almost 20, probably 20 years ago now, I could have been a hashtag. Why? Because on a Saturday morning, I'm on my way to work. Two police cars. One of them, the first one passed me, no problem. The second one passed me. He slammed on his brakes, started squealing his tires. When he realized I was a black man driving a brand new Mountaineer, he get behind me. I pull over at this service station. Asked, what's the problem? Gave him my license. My new insurance card just came in. I didn't even have the car for, I guess it was just over 6 months. My new insurance, I forgot to switch out the card. So I didn't have it with me. He said he stopped me because my license plate came back to a stolen vehicle. Now, take it. If a car come back stolen, you're not finna just walk up to that car. They thought they was dealing with a fool. I know enough. I knew enough back then. So when they stopped me and kept me out there all that time, I ended up calling my mom and sister to come up there like 5:30 in the morning. They come up there. They threatened to arrest my sister for calling 911 requesting for a supervisor to come out, which one never showed up. They told me, oh, you could look in my car and look at the computer and see it's off by one letter or number. And when I went toward the car, I always kept my hands behind my back so they could see them. I just kind of try to lean in. I'm not finna get in your car. Because if I get in, first thing you're gonna say, he tried to get my shotgun. He tried to steal my car. Whatever the case may be, it would have been a lie. But it would have been my word against their word. And a dead man cannot talk. So one of the officer, I got him by himself. I said, man, I understand. You have to back your partner up. I truly understand that, and you should back them up. But when they are wrong, you don't have to stand behind them. You let them know this is not right. And I told him, I said, look, take a real good look in my face. Because y'all stopped the wrong black man tonight. Take a real good look at me. This is not the last time you're going to see my face. That happened on a Saturday. Monday morning, I was hand delivering letters to, at the time, Laura Miller, Terrell Bowden, which was the police chief, the city manager. Oh, since I'm down at City Hall, let me go and stop by Internal Affairs and file a report, which they tried to discourage me from doing it. So I filed the report against these officers. That night at 10 o'clock, when they came out their roll call, and the young lady opened the door and said, Sergeant, this gentleman would like to see you. And they walking out behind their sergeant. I looked at them. I said, like I said, that wasn't the last time you was gonna see this face. You stopped the wrong black man that night. So I hand delivered a complaint to both of these sergeants. Now, at the time, the city of Dallas changed their policy about randomly running license plates. They had to have a reason to run your license plate. I don't know if it's still like that, but during that time, they had to. They don't know who I knew or who I dealt with, but I know a lot of policemen that told me exactly what to do, and I did it. But at the same time, I could have been a hashtag for the simple fact you had one dirty cop, and I'm calling him dirty. I'm gonna try to find out what's the cop name is and see if he's still a cop or see if he ever done anything else like this. But he had one dirty cop, all because I was driving a nice vehicle. It could have cost me my life. So when I talk about this, yeah, this is personal for me because I have experienced this. I have experienced things like this. Not just one time, I've done it multiple times, experienced this. Outside my home, one of my best friend and I just got off work in uniform. Here it go. Cop said he was new to the beat, wanted to meet the people. We introduced ourselves. That wasn't good enough. He wanted our driving license. For what? Like I said, I'm not just talking about this. I've been doing this. I have experienced these things. But at some point, enough is enough. Um, Robin said, white people who commit mass murder almost always make it to their day in court, unless they themselves take their own lives. Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. You don't hear about too many mass murderers being killed by the police. You don't. Not unless they black. Not unless they black. Robin said, vote, vote, vote. If you don't use your right, you have an even greater chance of losing your right. They're trying to silence as many as they can. Do not make it easy for them. You're right. Don't make it easy for them. Don't make it easy for them. Because the thing is, they know over the last couple of years, black folks have stood up and a lot more people are starting to vote. Why you think Georgia, they changed the color of it? Because they said enough is enough. That's why Georgia changed their laws. That's why they trying to do voter suppression. But let the truth be told, you could cut the early voting down. It won't matter. It won't matter. Even that sorry ass governor that we have here in Texas, he tried to make it where if you do mail in ballots during this past November election, he tried to make it where you only had one place to drop it off at. He tried it. It didn't matter though. That's why you're on the chopping block. That's why we're gonna vote you out come next year. And all these little clowns that are up there with you, all of you have to go. Enough is enough. We have to make the change. You're right. Republicans cannot win unless they stop enough people from voting. You are right. We have to want to make that change. And I'm tired. I'm extremely tired. But because I'm tired, it's making me even stronger to want to get out and vote every time an election come up. I've been doing that ever since I was 18. Every election came up, I voted. Not unless for some reason I just didn't know about it or I wasn't in town where I could vote. But as for right now, at least for the last 15 years, I think I've hit every election that happened. I don't care what we voting on. We could be voting on uh the contestant between Tweety Bird and Donald Duck. It don't make a difference. Who the cutest? I'm a vote. It don't matter. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna let my voice be heard. And when I get that jury summary every year, I go. I go. I don't try to get out of it. I go. I don't care how long I may be there. I'm gonna go. It's my duty to do it. It's your duty to do it. I know I've I've had a lot of things I wanted to talk about tonight and couldn't get to it. And it's okay. It's okay. Because what's most important to me, as long as we make sure we get the word out, we let it be known. Duante Wright shouldn't be dead. He should be at home with his young child. His girlfriend shouldn't have been injured. From what I read about Duante, the brother was doing the right thing. He worked. I think even one thing said he worked a couple of jobs. A young dude working. And the mother, when he got pulled over, he called this mother, told her he got pulled over. The next thing she knows, she hear a lot of commotion and the phone dies. She was at the grocery store. And the girlfriend called back shortly and informed her Duante been shot. And the father, yeah, some people think all black folks don't have a father in their life, which is another myth. Even if it wasn't a father in the household, they probably had a father figure that was teaching them the right thing. But the mother called her husband. Oh yeah, her husband, his father, and told him what happened. He made it to the scene shortly after. I think the mother made it there like 10 minutes after. One of them made it there 10 minutes after. And he was laying on the ground with a sheet over him. And here it is, young brother gone. But this cop get a chance to go home. Get to go home because they did not know the difference between a taser and their service weapon. And this is if you're just not tuning in, cause I see a lot of people still coming in. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt Dog. I know I had a show lined up tonight, but unfortunately, um, we end up talking about the young brother, Duante Wright, that was murdered by a police officer. Yeah, it's so easy to say it was a mistake. But all this training, you can't tell the difference. You cannot tell the difference. I'm asking everyone, if you, no matter where you are, if you're in the US, please make sure you are registered to vote. Please get out and vote. Get out and vote. Robin asks, don't you got to take the safety off your gun before shooting? I own a handgun and I have to take take the safety off. Yeah. That's why I said it wasn't a mistake. It's so easy to yell on the body cam, taser, but you actually grab your weapon. So you didn't have to. They had to click their safety off in order to shoot. So yeah, you definitely have to take it off. You have to take it off. But people can argue and say, well, they said they made a mistake. Oh, another young black man dead. This is so sickening. It's so bad. It's so sad that we're having to deal with this once again. But I pray that everyone that had tuned in tonight, I hope you take these events serious enough, no matter where you are, no matter where you are, you do the right thing. Get registered to vote. Get out and vote. Not just for the federal level, but for your local level also. Get out and vote. Hold these cops accountable. We have to hold them accountable. Yeah, Robin, I know you do. Uh, you've been rolling with me for a pretty good while. Um, you have been there. You from Washington State. Um, so I appreciate you for always supporting the show. I always appreciated you, Radio, T Cal, Marcellus, and everyone else. A lot of people come in, they'll listen and they'll leave out. Even Jonathan Green, that is listening on Facebook, I've seen him come in quite a bit. Now, a lot of time, Mr. Green, he don't say anything. He listened to the show, but tonight he wanted his voice to be heard, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. Um, this is a show for everyone, because we all have our own opinion about what's going on. Like I said, as long as we're speaking truth, that's all that matters to me. We may not agree on things, we may disagree on a lot of things, but it don't matter, because here it is, we can have a dialogue of what's going on in this world, and we can talk about it. You may say something and give me a different view of some things. I may say something and give you different views of some things. So I cannot tell you about um, how it is to be a white person. I know a lot of white person. Hell, I hung out with a lot of white person growing up, and I've seen their lifestyle. I've seen my lifestyle. But at the end of the day, we all have different opinion. You cannot tell you can't tell me how it is to be a black person, because you won't know. You can only go by with what someone have told you. But one thing about all of this, we all have a duty to do. Call out what is wrong. Get out and vote to make a difference in it. That's what we should do. Call it out. When it happened, What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. I don't care who it is, I don't care what color you are. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And that's the way we should look at everything. We should be um, more of a race blindness or a color blindness when it come down to race. Because racism is taught. You're not born a racist. It's taught to you. And that's what we need to change. We need to change it. We need to change the fact, the stereotype that black people is evil. Uh, Black people is lazy. Whatever the stigma is, we need to change it because it's not true. You're going by with what other people is telling you, and you're not learning for yourself. You're not learning for yourself. Um, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Tomorrow, because this really have been a rough day. Um, and I was going to do this at the beginning of the show. Um, to my good friends, the Matlock family, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm here for you. And I'm here for you, praying for you. Been knowing them for, oh, well, I want to say almost 40 years. So we're like family. When they hurt, we hurt. When my mom passed away, they was there for us. We're there for you too. You need anything, you know our numbers. Call us. We love you. We here for you. Now I'm gonna close the show a little bit different tonight. um, I'm gonna say a prayer for all the violence that is going on in this world. And so if you are a Christian or want to join in, um, just just go along with me. Lord, in the name of Jesus, we come to you tonight. We ask that you camp around Duante Wright family. Get them peace in their heart and in their mind. We also that you bring peace to Minnesota. Bring peace to those leaders up there. Put it on their hearts to do the right thing. We ask that you put it on the heart of the elected officials to do the right thing, change the laws, to be able to hold these officers accountable when they do wrong. Lord, we also ask that you give everyone that have tuned in tonight that is hurting because of this. Get them peace in their heart. Allow all of us to lean upon you during this time to bring comfort. Put it in the spirit of the ones that is truly affected by this to reach out and get help from counseling. And Lord, we also ask that the school shooting today, we ask that you allow the officer to make a speedy recovery. the person that did the shooting. Change their heart, remove that hatred out of them. Protect the family that lost their loved ones today. And Lord, we also ask that you keep your loving arms around the Matlock family. Allow them to lean up on you. Give them peace in their heart. And Lord, we just thank you for what you have done. And we ask if it's anyone under the sound of my voice that don't know you, put it on their heart to accept you as their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Lord, we just thank you and ask it all in the name of Jesus. Amen. Until tomorrow night, I love each and every one of you. Peace.